Good morning. Our hand today is going to be Ace 5. I am on the button, it folds to me, and I'm just going to open raise this. This is a pretty good steel hand. I would probably be open raising most of these hands. We do have fold to steal 50%. For villain 3, villain 4's new player at the table. So against these two, I probably wouldn't be opening up everything, but definitely at a minimum, this range. This is my button opening range. The new villain calls. We don't know anything about him, so what I do, I think quite a few players will call on the big button. We don't know what his fold to steal stat is. Obviously, a lot of these players that fold too much are playing way too tight. This is kind of in the middle ground at 31%. You've got like suited aces, suited kings. You've got big Broadway hands, fewer of the low cards, but you do have some of these suited connectors. Maybe not 5-4 off, maybe not 6-5 off, but we've got some of these connectors that could hit a big hand. So we see a board. Flop is Ace 9-2 with 2 clubs. So we hit bottom pair here. Villain checks. We've got bottom pair, a backdoor gut shot, backdoor flush. Backdoor flush really isn't that good. I think this is probably a standard C bet. Our range figures to be stronger than his. I don't think we have 3 bets. The queens plus ace king, I should say. We don't have these hands because I think he probably 3 bets. Most players 3 bet. We can always adjust this if we see that he had one of these hands, but I think we're in a spot where we definitely have range advantage, and we're probably going to be betting with most of our range. Now, Ace 5 could be a checking hand. In terms of which of our aces to bet, I almost feel like the ones that we should be betting are these middle ones, like Ace 6, Ace 7, Ace 8. Let's see, here's my hand: Ace 6, Ace 7, Ace 8. Maybe Ace 10 is what we're betting, but then maybe Ace 2, Ace 3, I'm sorry. These are the ones that we're checking, and then we're betting like the Ace 2, Ace 3, Ace 4, Ace 5, the Ace King, Ace Queen, Ace Jack, hoping that he has a hand that could continue with. So I think a lot of players, if I bet here, they might be calling with a 9. Definitely the ace is scary, so I don't think we're going to get called as much, but you've got club draws that could be calling too. Not a huge fan of slow playing, but this could be one where we could check one of our top pair hands. I chose to bet here. Bet half pot and villain called. So, in terms of what I'm betting here, I think I'm betting top pair plus most of our top pairs. As I said, I think Ace 10, 8, 7, 6. We're probably checking those. Even with some of our offsuit hands, probably checking those. Pocket pair below the top card. I think we could be betting those. We could be checking these because we're going to already be behind the aces. Obviously, I think if we check and villain leads the flop, or leads the turn, we're gonna be calling with these. So I think whether we bet or call with them, or check with them, it's up to us. Middle pair, I think we're betting. These small pocket pairs, I think we're betting. Bottom pair, we're gonna say we're gonna bet. We're hoping just to kind of get folds usually. Flush draws, we're betting. 2-card backdoor flush draws, we're betting. We've got some no-made hands that kind of fall into checking range here, so I think we're kind of going with that range. Now, what cards is the villain calling with? I think he's calling with any pair, probably. Maybe not pocket pair below the second, maybe not these small ones, but middle pair's probably calling. I think flush draw is calling. Gut shot, maybe, depends on the player. 2-card backdoor flush draws, probably not. Unknown player. unknown players don't typically call with 2-card backdoor flush draws, so something like that. So when he calls, I am a little concerned because now I think he has a lot of aces in his range, and I think a lot of those aces are going to beat my kicker. So when the 6 comes out, that's actually not too bad. Gives me a flush draw possibility. Villain 4 checks. And do I think he's ever going to lead? Probably not. I think he should be checking here. And then I checked behind, and I actually like my check here. So with that 6, I mean, yeah, I could have the flush already. I think I'm probably betting the flush. King high flush, or maybe not the entire flush. 5, 6, 0, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're gonna bet all of the flushes. Yeah, probably. I think we're betting all of the flushes here because I think the lone club, like a king of clubs could call, a queen of clubs could call, probably even a jack of clubs could call. So let's get some value from our flush here. I think sets. Some of our sets are betting, some of our sets are not. What we don't want to do is bet and then get raised with those hands. So I kind of think our sets are going to be checking at this point. Obviously, if we had the ace, we've just really killed all of the ace-x hands. So makes it more likely the villain has something else. Two pair probably also we're checking here. Ace 9, ace 6, ace 2 will give a free card. I think top pair's probably betting. And some of these other middle pair, I think we're betting as kind of a bluff here. Flush draws, I do think we're probably betting those. And possibly the open-ended straight draws, but we're checking the gut shots. Probably checking the straights, checking the gut shots, and then we're betting our flush draws here. So I think we're betting those. So we could have some of these draws as well. So sets are checking. Two pair checking. I think we're betting those. There we go. All right, so I think we've got our checking range. Checking range ends up becoming much weaker. We've got a lot more weaker hands, but we do have some, sets, two pair type hands. So ace 5, we checked. 6 of spades comes out. I don't think it really changes the hand. Gives us top pair with the 9, or top 2 pair with the 9 here. We would play the 9. Villain bets half the pot, and the question is, what is he going to do this with? He could be doing it with a bluff, I think, at this point. Maybe top pair, maybe 2 pair. I think probably that's what he's looking at. 69.3%. He's probably betting. Really, out of all the top pair, we're beating ace. We're beating ace 8 and below. So I don't think we're in really good shape. So if we call, obviously, I think we would raise quads and probably the full house. Where did all the aces go? Because we said we should bet them. I called here. So it comes down to what does villain have? Which ace? And I think that's what I was going for. I kind of excluded ace king. He could have ace queen, ace jack, but I also think he has all the other aces: ace 8, ace 7, ace 5, ace 4, ace 3, ace 2, possibly even. So that gives us, basically aces and 6 playing the 9 on the board. I called. He shows jack 8 for the flush. Was Jack 8 in there? Yeah, it was in there. So I think his range is pretty good. So I think this one might be a good one to check out what my GTO strategy should be. This was blind versus big blind. I kind of give him credit for an ace, but he could have the flush draw. I mean, he is calling. I think once he called the flop, I think there's a lot of hands that we're going to be behind, and definitely the turn did not help us. I think the turn was a bad card. So villain's play is a check, no big surprise. Our play is to bet about 46%. My ace 5 has, let's see, ace 5 off was small percentage. So I think our C bet was probably going to be a little bit better if we would just went ahead and checked. Yeah, I thought we were going to be checking some of these middle ones. Definitely, it looks like we're betting those instead, just slightly. So we're betting ace king ace queen, but we're not really betting those middle ones or the low aces. Ace twos are two pairs, so maybe you need to tone back. I think we're doing that because villain has a lot of hands in his range that miss this flop. They're just going to fold. But if we check behind with those, there's a possibility that he leads into us on the turn, or possibly even calls a turn bet if we make it with something weaker than the ace. So let's say we checked 6 of clubs, and then let's say he checks again. Are we still betting? No, it still looks like once we check the flop, we're going to be checking the turn again. And then this is 6 of spades, I believe. Yep, 6 of spades. Let's say he bets. We are calling the ace 5s. So I kind of expected that. Let's say we did bet. Villain's going to be calling with aces, probably calling with club draws, 9s. He calls, and then he's going to bet it 100%. And then this is the spot. What do we do? Well, those few times that we do bet ace 5 off, ace 4, ace 3 on the flop, looks like we are checking. I was curious, what are we going to be betting? So it looks like we are betting flush. We are actually betting a set. We're betting our 2 pair. We're betting top pair. We're still going to be aggressive with those types of hands. I would kind of expect if he raises, we would be folding. Or looks like we're calling flushes, sets, and 2 pairs. But it looks like we're calling 57%, so we're calling a lot of the hands that we would have. We're betting. He raises. Yeah, and then we make all of those calls. So we could bet here. Definitely looks like we're betting more frequently. And we're betting with no made hands to balance all of our flushes, sets, 2 pairs, top pair type hands. So being a little bit more aggressive, but ace 5, the small aces are checks. Ace queen, ace jack are checks. That's kind of interesting. So 2 barrels with ace king, some 2 barrels with ace jack, ace queen. So we did play we did play it as a check. Villain bets half pot here. And it looks like we are kind of calling with ace 5. Ace 4, ace 3 looks like they want us to fold. So I think our calling is just to make sure that we have enough calling range in our hand. Looks like ace 10, ace jack, ace queen are solid calls. I would have expected that. The ace 8, ace 7 seem to be solid calls. Fewer of them. But this low kicker aces do not. So I think when he bets, we're probably going to be behind here. The best thing we're hoping for is that he has like an ace weak kicker, and I think that could be possible if we add to change his range to add in all of these offsuit aces. I think it makes it maybe a little bit more believable. So we did get the hand. He did have a flush. It is in his range. I did think that when he called, he has a lot of these flush draws, a lot of the aces in his hands. He did have that. I like how we checked behind, but it looks like GTO saying we should just be checking the flop. should be checking the flop about 50% of the time here instead of like betting it at the frequency that I would be betting it, which is, I don't know, probably 80%, 90%, maybe even 100%. I mean, that ace does look good to us. All right, so hopefully you enjoyed this. Got a little GTO in this along with our hand reading, so look again tomorrow for some more hands.